This podcast contains discussions of mature themes, including violence, which may not be suitable for all audiences. Please proceed with caution. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dark Talk. I'm your host, Dan, and I'm joined by my bro, Paul. How are you doing, Paul?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm good, cheers. How are you?
Good. I'm okay. I'm like dying in this heat. It's just like horrendously muggy and close, and just the pressure is like very high. It's horrible.
You've got that middle-aged woman thing going on where it's like it's a bit close, isn't it? It's actually
going through the change.
It's actually not too bad here today. It's a bit grey and that, and I haven't really been outside yet, but it's not too bad. It's better than like this sunburning, blistering heat anyway.
No, I'd take that. Yesterday it was just like the rain was like soaking, but it was still just boiling hot. So you couldn't even put like a raincoat or anything on. It's my worst type of weather. Very British, aren't we? Let's talk about the weather.
Yeah, on this horror podcast, we'll talk about the weather, shall we?
Yeah, should we get into it then? We'll get into the episode.
Yeah. Unless have you seen anything good recently that you'd like to talk about?
Yeah, but I think we'll talk about it on the next episode. Last night I went to go and watch 28 Years Later, so I know you haven't seen it yet, and I'll wait till James has seen it as well. We'll talk about it on our next episode.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
Spoiler free, of course.
I'm going to try and get to see it as soon as, because...
Yeah, there's... I'm not going to spoil too much, but I'm going to say the last 5 minutes is absolutely fucking bizarre. And I was like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing on screen. I thought, is this real or am I like tripping? It was fucking weird. Yeah, I'll say no more. You'll understand. Yeah, what I'm talking about when you watch it.
It was all a dream. Cillian Murphy wakes up from the coma, and it was all a dream.
Yeah, and Naomi Harris is in the shower, and she's like, "Hey, babe."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What about this global pandemic?" She's like, "Global pandemic? Oh, we're off to go see Drowning Pool in a bit."
Drowning Pool.
Anyway, yeah, so we're a quick episode. We've got an hour or so we're going to sneak in a film from 2005. The bad films continue, so we decided this week to cover 2005's House of Wax, directed by Jamie Colette Serra, starring Alicia Cuthbert, Chad Michael Murray, Brian Holt, a very young Jared Padalecki, and Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
When did you first see this one? Was this first watch for you last night, or
no? I've seen it once before. I remember it was probably about a year after it came out or something. I didn't really want to watch it, and I did, and I didn't think very highly of it at all.
Not a fan?
No, I mean my opinion has slightly changed since watching it last night and this morning. So like I like to watch a film the night before we do this, so it's like fresh in my mind. But I worked 15 hours yesterday, so like I put it on after work, and my eyes were just like going. So I watched the first hour, and I just finished it off. So I've literally just finished watching it about 15 minutes ago. So
fucking hell.
Super fresh.
A 15-hour shift, and then you have to come home to watch this.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to. I actually watched like the first half an hour of Amelie first, because that's what me and the missus were watching, and
right, okay.
I really didn't want to turn that off to watch this.
God, I haven't seen Amelie in years. That was quality film.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, and I was talking about it to the missus yesterday, and she was saying like she was reading a theory that Amelie is autistic, and you can watch the film in like a whole different light because of that. And you know, I'm highly interested in that kind of stuff. So yeah, and then I'm also watching. Go on, sorry.
Has she seen it before?
She's a huge fan of it. Yeah, she's a huge fan of.
Yeah, I was going to say it seems like right up her street, that kind of film.
Yeah, she loves all that kind of stuff. Yeah. She's interested in like world cinema, foreign language films. She really liked Perfect Day, that Japanese film. So I'm trying to think of, with my experience with like Asian films, I'm trying to think of films that would work for her, like. Old
Battle
Boy,
Royale.
Battle Royale, the Vengeance trilogy. But I'm trying to stay away
Tale
from
of
that.
Two Sisters.
Yeah. So I
Audition.
Fuck off.
Ichi the Killer.
Fuck off. I've actually thought of a perfect film, which borders between absurd and not too mental, which is I'm a Cyborg, but That's Okay, which is one of Park Chan-wook's earlier films, and it's quite sweet. I don't know if you've seen it. It's quite a sweet, nice film with a bit of weirdness to it as well. So
no. You could also get her to watch Tetsuo the Iron Man.
I haven't seen that, so I don't know what that's like.
It's like a Japanese Eraserhead.
Oh, okay. Well, that's on my street then, so maybe.
Oh yeah, I'm oversimplifying. Like I'm going to get a lot of fucking messages now saying, "How dare you compare the two films?" But yeah, it's pretty fucking mad.
I've also started watching. And when I say start, I mean like I've watched 10 minutes of it. So it's on the burner, on the back burner, ready to watch. The animated series of Blade Runner. It's Blade Runner Black Lotus.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I started it, and the animation's okay, but I'm going to try it out. It's got some good music and that in it from the first bit that I saw. Yeah, I'm waiting to watch that.
Cool. I remember probably about 10 years ago, I was just in a pound shop and I found the entire Animatrix for £1. I was like, oh yes, sick. I bought that. I still haven't watched it. Yeah, that sounds like it might be similar.
Yeah. Shit animation, cyberpunky stuff.
Yeah. Back to House of Wax, though. Sadly.
Yeah.
I think I saw this in the cinema back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I went to watch this. I think so, yeah. Sure I did. And I definitely had it on DVD as well, so I've seen this quite a few times.
You love this shit, don't you?
I actually don't mind it. I didn't mind it back in the day. I think watching it this time, I've come to notice a lot more of its flaws this time. When I watched it yesterday. But yeah, I really didn't mind this. I mean, there was why do we watch these films where like one of the lead actresses is like
I know.
A massive figure of hate. I was thinking, like, this is Lindsay Lohan all over again, because Paris Hilton is in this film.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the reason people went to see this is just to see how bad Paris Hilton was going to be in it. But she's actually not that bad. She's a perfectly cromulent actor.
Yeah, she isn't too bad, really. I mean, like that, what was her TV show called? The Perfect Life or something? I don't know. But in that, she was acted as well, because that wasn't her real personality, was it? She was just basically playing a bit.
Of course she's playing up for the camera, yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't bad. She was a bit monotone. She didn't show that much emotion. That sexy dance scene was just...
I think, I'll get into my points about that later, but I think he could have done away with her character entirely, really.
Yeah, I think...
Just there to pad out the kill cat and have her in it, her name recognition.
Yeah, I think they were capitalising on her sex video. I mean,
there's a point in it a bit. I'm getting a bit ahead, but there's a bit where she's. It looks like she's giving her boyfriend a blowjob while he's driving.
Yeah.
She's actually looking for a lip balm. Yeah. But there's a guy in the truck, a different truck, filming it, and it cuts to that infamous night vision from her leaked sex tape. And I thought, I wonder if she knew that was going in.
Oh, fucking definitely.
Yeah. So the film opens up with an extreme close-up of a boiling pan of weird wax water, and I don't know why this woman is making a waxwork model in her kitchen at breakfast time. But, what do I know about the creative process? She's like feeding her kids and she's like constructing this wax model. Yeah, so we've got these two kids, and one is calm and eating a cereal like a good boy, and the other is a hyperactive little shit, and he gets placed in a restraint chair, he gets a slap from the father. I mean, I wonder if this kid's like bonkers.
God. Yeah.
His parents are fucking awful.
I mean, I don't want to go too serious with it, but like in my line of work, this is like, no wonder people become like serial killers and stuff. Like these early years.
Yeah, I bet this is quite triggering for you.
Well, these early years are so fucking important to people's development, and it's just like. But yeah, I won't get too serious with it. But it's fucking
imagine
horrible.
going through all your life with your parents saying, "Why can't you be as good as your brother?"
Yeah,
that's fucking awful. I wonder if he's like turns out to be. Well, they turn out to be. We'll get into what they turn out to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we cut to present day, and fucking hell, Deftones Minerva. Yes,
fucking
please.
hell, yeah. I didn't remember that being in it. I love that song.
No, me neither.
Yeah. I listened to this song quite a bit last year when I was in Menorca on the beach. I just remember it's quite a tranquil kind of song, isn't it? And I didn't remember it being in this. I was like, fuck yeah, let's listen to the Deftones.
I know, it was awesome. And then it was followed up by Disturbed, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And then we got Spitfire by Prodigy, so I was like, yes! We got some fucking...
Well, this is what I was paying attention to. So I think it was like in the first 6 minutes we'd had Disturbed and Deftones. 9 minutes in, I think it was, we had a third song which I didn't recognise. And then 13 minutes in, we had Spitfire. And I was like, 13 minutes into a film, we've got 4 like famous songs, you know, not like no score or anything, just the music like that. And then I was like, and then we had some really fucking bad follow-up songs, which
we did get Marilyn Manson as well, but
it's
cancelled, bro. So can't listen to him anymore. Yeah, so we meet our cast of teens for the film. We've got Carly, played by Alicia Cuthbert, her boyfriend Wade, who is pre-supernatural Jared Padalecki, and look at that fucking moustache he's got. He's got to be like, what, 19 in this? That is a bad teenage moustache.
He looks very young, yeah.
We meet Paris Hilton's character Paige and her boyfriend Blake. And rounding out the cast are Dalton and Carly's brother Mike. Mike is Nick. No, not Mike. Fucking Nick. Yeah, I've got Mike written down.
You dumb bastard.
Oh, do you know why I've got Mike written down?
No.
Okay, so it's Nick. Nick is played by teen drama veteran Chad Michael Murray, who's been in like everything, like One Tree Hill and Dawson's Creek. And I don't know if he was in that, but you know, that kind of shit. Nick is a douchebag to everyone. He's a real Jax Teller looking motherfucker with a chip on his shoulder.
He is, isn't he? I thought that at one point.
He's the reincarnation of Mike from See No Evil.
Oh, right.
That's why I got Mike written down. Fuck yeah. Quickly, did you recognise the guy that was playing Dalton, his best friend?
Oh, he's from what's it called? Scary Movie.
Yeah, he's the Wyans dick sucking dude.
The Wyans dick sucking dude.
Yeah, he's the killer, isn't he? And at the end, he's like, "Hey, you suck my."
Yeah, of course, yeah. yeah, instantly recognised him.
I didn't know. When I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, it's him."
Yeah.
Right, so they're all on their way to watch a big football game.
Super duper important college or high school football game.
The football bowl, you know, the America Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah, they can't miss it because it's so important.
Big game of sports ball, this. They have to share. They've had to take 2 cars because Nick and Dalton weren't invited when they've just sort of tagged along. And in the car, and Dalton has this great line to Wade, Jared Padalecki's character. He's taking the piss out of his haircut. He goes, "What? Did you go to your barber and ask for a He-Man?"
Yeah.
Fucking brilliant. So they find a diversion on the journey to the big sports ball game, and they decide to just camp out for the night and travel the rest of the journey in the morning. And I've got to ask, why did they bring so much camping gear to a football game? They've got like tents and like cooking pots and like gas canisters. And...
Oh, they got a gazebo. They've got fucking everything. They are fully prepared to camp out somewhere. I don't know, maybe it wasn't mentioned and they were going to camp out after it or the same night, but for the sake of the writers, they have got camping shit.
I had to laugh at this bit as well, because while everyone is pitching in and setting up camp for the night, Nick is just sitting in the camping chair, drinking beer and throwing up devil horns at people, which is a move that I've christened the Paul at a festival.
The final piece of the puzzle.
Every so we Paul and I have been to a festival, this is his exact move. Literally, chair out, beers out, watches everybody else set up while he just gets absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, and it's because I always had a pop-up tent, so I just pop mine up at the very end, and it's like, there you go, mine's sorted. And that would always come back to bite you in the arse, wouldn't it? After the deluge of rain. After about 2 hours of rain, and it's just folded in half.
Or like the burning sun would just like dissolve the tent.
Yeah, that £11 B&M pop-up tent. It's better than when I actually did try and help him set up a gazebo though, and ended up just like launching the poles everywhere and
picking up and thinking, oh, we don't need this. A mile away.
Just hitting people.
10 minutes later, where's that really super mega important piece of the structure? Oh yeah, pull through it over there, I don't know where.
Fucking hell.
So let's talk about Nick, this fucking walking attitude.
Oh god! If this film had come out 8 years earlier, he would have been played by Ryan Phillippe. You just know it. He is a carbon copy of Ryan Phillippe's character from I Know What You Did Last Summer. Same attitude, similar look. and just giving it all out.
He's just very, very pissed off at every single person. He's trying to go for this like James Dean, Marlon Brando sort of like, He's got an attitude because he believes Carly has grassed on him to the cops over a car he supposedly stole. And he's pretty much a chronic inadequate. You're the good twin, I'm the evil twin. And I was like, yeah, okay, dude, fucking grow up. And then he puts his hood up, and ooh, wearing your hood up, are you?
Ooh, you're right.
Oh, fuck off.
Do you know what, though? Was it just me, or did you get the feeling that he really wants to shag his sister? Like, yeah,
he's like very jealous, isn't he?
Oh, just the weird, intense eye contact between both of them. Like, I know, like, later it meant, at that point it mentions that they're twins, which I know twins have, like, a different connection, I'd say, from just general siblings, but I also got the feeling she wanted to fuck him as well. It was a bit weird, like,
So we get a montage of the group partying, drinking, shagging, all filmed through Dalton's camera. Their party is interrupted by a menacing-looking truck, which sort of drives onto the land and sits there pointing the main beam at them. While they all just like fanny about with their arms spread out, like, "Hey, what's the problem, dude?" And then Jared Padalecki will come over and he goes, "Hey, man, what's the problem?" with his hands up. And then Dalton's like, "Hey, man, what's the fucking problem?" I was like, "Just fucking." I will applaud Nick for this one. He takes action. He's just sort of sat there and he's like, "Fuck these guys." He just gets up and he launches this bottle at the headlight, which is enough to cause the truck to back away. And I was like, yeah, good for you, dude, because like the rest of these non-entities were doing nothing.
Yeah. I mean, is it wise, though, when you're in the middle of nowhere in a hillbilly town and this menacing-looking Jeepers Creepers-looking fucking truck turns up and it's... These people are definitely carrying, like, fair dues to him. He's got a good aim as well, which we already knew about. They established
a quarter of a mile away.
Yeah, they established that about 5 minutes earlier when he actually did throw the football back to one of them, and he was like, "Good arm, man."
Oh yeah. During the night, somebody sneaks into the camp and steals Dalton's camera and uses it to film the sleeping group. Could have cut this bit shit, really. Yeah. They wake the next day to fire, and Wade finds out that his fan belt is broken. His 15-inch fan belt. Remember, it's 15 inches, not 60. It's got to be a 15-incher.
Yeah, it's so important.
The film's sort of a bit all over the place, really. Paige and Carly go to find the source of this disgusting smell that has been periodically wafted in and out the campsite. Like, why would you bother?
She's like, I need to know what it is. It's like, all right.
Carly falls down a small cliff and lands in a pit of deer carcasses, which is what was causing the smell. And I gotta say, this does look pretty gross, where she's like, her hands are all in the blood and shit and like, rotted flesh. I thought, that is pretty gross.
Yeah.
So while she's sort of hanging in the pit, everyone else comes to save her, and a truck arrives, a different truck to the one from last night. And it is the quote-unquote owner of the pit, played by...
owner of the pit? He owns this big pile of corpses.
Just dead deer. That's mad. Yeah, I couldn't believe this guy was in it. Damon Herriman of Justified, Quarry, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood fame. Do you recognise him?
No, I didn't, actually. Who's he in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
He is Charles Manson in that film.
No,
he only has one scene, I think. Yeah.
Oh shit! What's his real name? Let me look him up. Go. What's his name?
Damon Herriman.
Damon
Herrim.
I got it. He's Australian.
He is Australian, yeah, and I could not believe that because he always plays these sort of redneck hillbilly sort of characters.
Well, he played Charles Manson in that TV show in Mindhunter, didn't he? As well as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes.
I think he's like, God, he looks so much fucking like him. It's weird.
Yeah, he's a fucking... He does not get nearly enough screen time in this film, which is probably to his benefit. It's probably to his benefit, really.
Yeah. I'm going to use him in a recast. He's great as Charles Manson, yeah.
So he throws a deer carcass into the pile, and the group sees a human hand reaching out of the pit, and the driver reveals that it's actually a hand from a mannequin that he found on the road. And he's so chuffed when he realises that he's fooled him. He's like, you bunch of dummies, I just found it on the side of the road. Yeah. So the group split into two, with the main group going on to the big sports ball game, while Carly and Wade get a lift to the nearest town to get a 15-inch fan belt, because Wade does not want to leave his brand new car in case that truck driver comes back.
That's a fair point.
So they arrive in.
That is a fair point, because
it is a fair point. Yeah. I wouldn't be leaving my car.
If he comes back and strips it, and it's like, yeah, that's definitely gonna happen.
Comes back. There's like no tires, and like the engine's gone.
It's just a skeleton of a car.
So they have a bit of a to-do with the truck driver. They don't really trust him because he's weird, and he really plays it off like he's been hurt by it. Because he's like, I'm just trying to help you guys.
Yeah. He is the stereotypical red herring hillbilly guy, isn't he? We've seen loads of these, especially around this time. I actually typed, while this bit came on, I actually Googled 2000s redneck movies. And it came up, several movies from the 2000s fit the redneck or hillbilly horror subgenre. And we've got, these aren't from the same year, but we've got like Wrong Turn, we've got Cabin Fever, even like House of a Thousand Corpses, you know. But this especially reminded me, have you ever seen Harold and Kumar? The first one, the White Castle.
Get the Munchies.
Get the Munchies in the UK, but it was something to do with White Castle in the American version. So have you ever seen that? Do you remember the almost exactly identical scenes from that film as House of Wax?
No, but I can imagine what it's like. Yeah,
it's Christopher Maloney from Oz.
Oh,
yeah, and it's obviously a more comical situation, and he sings and stuff, and he's got like boils on his neck and stuff. But it's almost like scene for scene. It's insane. It's great.
It's like it's even parodied, isn't it? Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
Yes, I have seen that. It's a good film.
It's a complete parody of this whole
of
like,
this genre.
Isn't it? Hillbilly horror. Yeah,
it's a good film. That's
a fucking cracking film. So Wade and Carly arrive in this town. And I really like the look of this place. Yeah. It's like an abandoned town from The Walking Dead, you know, one of those like middle of America, middle of nowhere. Yeah. And it's really fucking spooky because they can't find anybody anywhere, but you can still hear things. They see like these dogs and the puppies in the pet shop, and they see people looking out the windows and things like that. So we'll find out what all that is later on. So they can't find anybody at the gas station. Yeah. So they go over to this church and they interrupt this funeral. So they quickly apologise, step out. Then the guy who was praying over the coffin comes out, and this is Bo, who actually runs the gas station, and he tells them he'll come sort of fanbelt once he's finished at this funeral, which, you know, I got to say, that's going a bit above and beyond the Call of Duty. If you're had a funeral and you're going to go and sort these guys out.
Especially because he appeared to be like the main guy in the funeral, you know, he was like...
like he's like the chief mourner.
Yeah, the chief mourner. Head mourner. Yeah, so even just like leaving to come and see the people, that kind of should have been a bit suspicious. Really,
I mean, we'll come to find out that... Not only is there not a funeral, there was nobody else in that fucking church.
I didn't remember.
As will be revealed.
I didn't remember that at all. I didn't remember that no one else lives in this town.
Oh, did you?
No.
I fucking loved it. Because I remembered instantly, and the way the priest doesn't move.
Yeah,
he's got this look on his face, like this stern look, telling people off.
Just think like they purposely made him have that look so that they can trick anyone who goes in there.
Yeah, I know. I do think during that scene, though, when they go in, I think that is actually an actor, because it just looks too good to be a wax figure.
Yeah, I would.
And then later on, when she goes back into the church, I think you can tell the difference because there is a wax figure of that priest. Yeah. So to kill some time, Carly and Wade visit the gigantic House of Wax museum, which is constructed entirely out of wax, the building itself. So Wade sort of peels off a bit of wax. He says, "Hey, look, it's made out of wax," which will come into play later in the film.
Just a bit.
So they go inside, they explore, they look at some of the wax figurines. They're very, very realistic. And Carly gets freaked out when she spots someone watching them through a window, some Phantom of the Opera type dude.
Can I just point out, this is the first of multiple occasions where Sam from Supernatural instantly becomes an absolute dick when he is inside someone else's property. First of all, he scrapes the wall, which is okay, fair enough, it's not going to harm it too much. But then once he's inside, he completely once they break and enter, once they start trespassing into this building, he instantly becomes a dick and starts like fucking around with all the bits. He's playing the piano, and he just becomes very irresponsible and also very disrespectful.
He does. He goes up to that dog as well. He's like, "Wow, look at this wacky dog."
I fucking pissed myself when that happened. I was like shaking the bed watching it. Yeah, it was funny.
He's also a bit jealous as well, because before they go into the wax museum, the guy Bo comes out and is like, "Yeah, I'll help you." First he comes out and tells him off. He's like, "Oh, how dare you interrupt the funeral?" But then he comes back and he's like, "Yeah, I'll help you both." And then fucking Wade is like, I guess there's another guy that really likes you. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck, dude. Like,
I know,
what's your problem?
Yeah, she's like a young, good-looking girl, and this guy's like flirting with her. Like, what do you expect? He's gonna flirt with her. But this is also the third time that what's the main girl called?
Carly.
This is the third time that Carly shows that she has got absolutely no survival instinct. So the first time would be when at night time when she hears a noise and she just gets up and starts walking around the camp, even though this dodgy ass person's been there before. And then the second time is when she follows the unmistakable sense of death. And this is the third time, right, where she has just seen a creepy ass person look through the window. And her instinct is to not run with her boyfriend, who is a big tall guy who can protect her, but to just stay inside the creepy ass building on her own, where there's a possibly violent, vicious dog as well, surrounded by these creepy wax things. And I was just thinking, fucking hell, she this is like Darwinism at its finest. She deserves to die at this point.
Well, I don't know. I think she has got some good survival techniques a bit later on, which I'll make we'll get into. Yeah, so they go back to the gas station, and then they enter that without permission as well, and they attempt to they're just going to walk off with a fan belt, but they sort of get caught. And Bo is like, "I've got the actual size that you need up at the house, so I'll take you up to the house to get a fan belt." And I've got written in my notes now, I am fed up with writing the word fan belt. You know, times I've got it written down here: fan belt.
Also, Sam also, because he's got the 16-inch fan belt, and they start walking out, and instead of just putting it back on the hook, he just chucks it on the table. I'm just like, what a fucking arsehole. Like,
he is an arse.
He just doesn't respect anybody else's property. I'm sick of him.
He's meant to be. He respects his brand new car though. He's a right fucking Yuan.
Oh my god, that's a perfect analogy of.
There's a lot of meandering and crap in this film, so I'm just going to sort of streamline the plot. Up at the house, Wade gets locked in a dark room, and the mysterious figure from earlier, the one that was peeking into the wax museum, emerges from a trapdoor with a pair of scissors. He's like the scissor man from that game, that clock house game or whatever it is. He cuts Sam's Achilles tendon with a pair of scissors, and which is gross. That's one of the grossest things that can happen in a film. I think in a horror film is your Achilles.
Do you know? I can't think of an example, but I have seen this in multiple films.
I think it's in Hostel, isn't it?
Hostel, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, most famously.
Yeah, and Troy as well. Very famously. That's where the name comes from, isn't it? But I thought this was a perfect time to like show this gore that they have the capability of showing. Just put the character in shorts, like baggy shorts or whatever, earlier on, so that when we see it, we can just see the actual snip. And that would have made like this. Yeah. I don't care about gore, but if they're going to show it being snipped, show the actual flesh and tendon being snapped rather than just like cut through the jeans and then you see the bit of blood come out. There a lot of money went into this film. They didn't need to slack off on this part. I think it's not that important, but I like as a viewer.
No, I'm with you. Because if they a bit later on, his girlfriend Carly, the tip of her finger snipped off with a plier, and they show that in full glory. I was like, So I don't know why they slacked off for this one.
And also, so this bit, right? He crawls his way through the room, and he like gets himself to his feet, and he picks something up, and he starts like swinging it around, and I was like, what the fuck's he doing? Because it's light, but then I realised the way the camera shoots it, which is pretty good, because it told me instantly that it's supposed to be pitch black in there, so the camera kind of goes really close to his face, only showing a small bit of light. So I thought, so it's pitch black in there, and he's swinging which is a good way to fend off anybody who's going to get him. But
if you can't see, just make as much danger in front of you as possible.
Yeah. But this took me back to when we were in college, right? Do you remember when because we used to hang around the art block quite a bit, didn't we? Because that was like the place that people like us hung around. And do you remember that we used to, when anybody went in the toilet, we would always turn the light off. So the light for the toilet was by the door, and it made the entire toilet area pitch black. And it was quite a big room as well. So if you were having a piss at the other end of the toilet, you had to get to the door in the pitch black, and it was like 15 feet or something. And do you remember we used to do that to everyone all the time and put the bin in the way?
Yeah, I remember the bin game.
But I could never get you, right? And I was like, how the fuck are you not tripping over every time? And you were like, I'm going to show you, because I couldn't think of how I was going to describe this. And you were like this. You were like, I walk like this. So for anyone listening,
almost
Dad used to
almost goose
step across, so he would kick anything that's in front of him before tripping over it. I could never fucking get you, but we used to get other people.
Jesus, I completely forgot about that.
While we're talking about college, can I just bring up a little story that this story makes me fucking laugh every time I think of it. There was a lad in my class who came into you know what I'm gonna say, don't you? He came in one day in a suit because he had a job interview and he was gonna go on it. And we were like just fucking around, walking around corridors and stuff. I don't think we were going to class at that moment. And we walked up to a door of a classroom and it had a poster over the window so you could only see a small square of the classroom. And I ducked down and I looked through and I went, oh shit, come and look at this. And I pretended there was something cool in there. And the lad with the suit came down and he went to look through the window and I pushed him through the door. And he went flying into this classroom and then just sprinted back out and we all ran away. And the funniest
there was a lecture going on at the time and this classroom was full.
There was about 30 people in there. And and the funniest thing thinking about it is like what they must have seen. So they're sitting there like learning the very important lecture going on, and then this man in a suit just bursts through the door, like almost falls over, and then just sprints back out, like zero contact.
He looked like, you know, like if James Bond was having a fight with a villain and the villain through the door and he came back and ran out to go.
And he just sprints out. And they're just like, what the
I remember that. Yeah, he was not happy, that lad.
No, he wasn't.
Very funny though.
No, he wasn't at all. That was funny though.
Yeah. Right, back to the film.
Yeah, oh shit, we're talking
about
this
Wade
film,
gets stabbed with a pair of scissors from the killer.
Yeah.
Wade awakens in the basement of the House of Wax, and he is patched back up by the mysterious mask-wearing guy, who we will come to know is called Vincent. Named after Vincent Price, the star of the original, which I also watched yesterday. After I was done with this film, I stuck the original on.
So I was gonna do that because I haven't seen the original. I've seen clips of it and stuff.
Completely different.
Yeah.
Completely different. Yeah. Although there were a couple of actors and actresses in it that I was like, you know, I look up every actor from an old film just to see what their career was like. And there's a character in the old film. His name's Igor, and he's like Vincent Price's helper, and he's this like stone-faced, tough, gigantic looking motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I was like, fucking hell, who's he? So I like Googled him. It was Charles Bronson. You know,
the actor Charles Bronson.
The actor Charles Bronson, not the criminal Charles Bronson. And there's a woman in that film as well. She dies quite early on in the film. Very distinctive looking face, big eyes. Googled her, and it's the original actress who played Morticia Adams. In the black and white TV series back in the day.
The original.
So so there are quite a few names in the original. Yeah.
There was also another film from was it the 30s that was this same story as well.
The one from the 50s is pretty much a remake of the one from the 30s.
Yes,
that's and then it. This one from 2005 is just the title only. There's absolutely nothing similar. No. It's completely different. Yeah, so in a nod to 40-year-old virgin, Vincent removes Wade's eyebrows with wax paper, torturing him. Yeah, before hosing him down completely with hot wax, entombing him forever as a wax model, which is pretty horrific fate, really.
Yeah. I actually really liked this scene. I thought it was it looked like a mushroom head video or something, but it was it looked pretty cool actually. I think was Saw out.
It does look pretty cool.
Saw was out at this point, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, Saw 1 and 2 were out. I think.
I think it definitely felt like something from a Saw film. You know, like a trap from a Saw film.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, his basement is definitely got that Saw grimy vibe to it.
Yeah, but I did really. I think this was a really good visual. It was very symmetrical, which I always like, and all the wax coming down, and then Vincent just walking off to the side, like barely even paying attention to it happening. And yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good visuals.
It was. So Carly, who is sat outside in the truck, she gets bored waiting for Wade, and she realises that the truck that Bo owns is the same truck that had menaced them the previous night, because she notices the smashed headlight. So when she refuses to let Bo into the truck, they get into a bit of a scuffle where she locks herself in the truck and tries to drive it away, but it doesn't quite crash, but the wheel gets stranded, so she can't drive it off.
She's also made the phone call to Blake, is it?
Yeah, she phones her friends, but I've just sort of left that out because it doesn't really play into anything. Blake hears it later on, but then that's
I suppose,
he dies before he can even do anything with it. So it's not as if it's relevant to the plot.
No, I think it's. We'll talk about it later. I'll bring it up later.
Yeah. So Carly runs back into town, heading first for the church, and this is where she discovers, and we the audience also discover, if you hadn't guessed already, she discovers that everyone from the funeral earlier on is still there and that they're all wax statues.
Yeah.
As she knocks one of them, the arm snaps off, revealing that the statues are also human because there's all like blood and bone and guts inside the broken arm. So yeah, Vincent and Bo turn human victims into wax statues to populate this town, which is pretty fucking mental thing to do, really.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird hobby, but
it is a weird hobby.
Hey, whatever keeps you busy in that, isn't it?
Fucking get into Warhammer or something.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Warhammer's probably more expensive than doing this.
It's probably
cost them more to get into Warhammer.
Yeah, I think I've met weirder people who play Warhammer as well. Play Warhammer.
Yeah. So the funeral, the quote-unquote funeral, is that of Vincent and Bo's mother, Trudy, who was the famous wax artist from the opener, and Bo and Vincent are the two twins from the start of the film. There's a lot of twin references in this film. So we've got the whole Nick and Carly twin thing. We've got the whole Vincent and Bo twin thing. And what I did notice, which I did think is a nice little touch, so I'm just going to skip ahead a bit. When they go to the cinema, the film that is playing on screen is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't. I didn't know if it was made for this, like a fake film.
No, it's a real film. And basically the whole plot of that is that, I can't think of it. There's Jane and her sister, and they're sisters, and you're meant to believe that one of them is evil, but then it turns out the other one was the evil one all along. So it's kind of
like that Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episode.
Yeah, like the Bart and Hugo.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So Bo stalks around the church for a long time looking for Carly, and he can't find her. And it is revealed that she is hiding under the wax priest's robes, which I thought was actually pretty clever, because you don't see where she's hiding until he sort of figures it out, and she sprints out from it. It looks like the priest's giving birth. I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, it was a good place to hide. So yeah, I take back the whole survival instinct thing, because she made the phone call and held it down by her side so that people could hear what was happening to her, and then she did find an actual good hiding place for a horror film, which isn't. Doesn't happen all the time, does it? Meanwhile, the rest of the group have abandoned their football trip because they were stuck in traffic. And I was getting this scene was really distressing me. They're just in traffic and it's bumper to bumper and everyone's pressing the horns and shit. And they're all just turn around, Blake, turn around. We want to go. We don't even want to go to the stupid. And I was like, fucking leave him alone. I know. Man. He's stuck in traffic. Where's he going to go?
You expect him to just do, you want him to do a 180 in the middle of this, fucking, I don't even know where they are, LA traffic or something. Yeah. So the group head back and they set camp up again. Nick and Dalton head into town to look for Wade and Carly. Blake and Paige stay in the tent to have sex. And while Nick and Dalton are driving back into town, we discover that it was Dalton who stole the car that Nick took the rap for, because Nick's already got a rap and it would keep Dalton's jacket clean. He's a badass with a heart of gold.
I don't think I even noticed that part. I wasn't paying attention. But...
who cares?
Yeah.
Dalton and Nick arrive at the gas station and they instantly split up, with Dalton heading off to the House of Wax. He discovers Wade, who has been entombed alive inside the wax shell forever, cursed to play the piano that he was dicking around with before.
So I'm telling you, fuck with people's property and karma will get
This is what happens to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Wade is still alive inside the shell. He's sort of mumbling and his eyes are moving. And Dalton's like, shit, bro, I'll get you out of this. So he starts to try and peel the wax off. He ends up peeling his skin off his cheek. I thought it looked fucking really cool. Really horrible looking.
Yeah. I think I used to have bad dreams about getting my skin peeled off. And what was I watching? Oh, it was Amelie. It was Amelie. She's pulling. She's pulling dry glue off her hands, And it kind of went through me a little bit because it looked like she was peeling like the skin off her fingers. Okay. And yeah, so like... I
thought you were going to say it's from Amelie, that bit where she summons Frank back from hell. Yeah.
Oh shit, maybe Hellraiser did that to me because I saw that when I was pretty young. And
yeah. Fucking hell, that's not a good film to watch when you...
No, it wasn't actually, yeah. But
it's not a good film to watch now. No. It's fucking terrifying.
Hey, talking about Hellraiser, you remember when PSPs came out?
Yeah.
I had one and I was working nights on my own in a hotel. I've mentioned it before on this. And one of the things I had from a PSP was Hellraiser on those tiny discs. And I remember sitting there like watching it at night at like 3 a.m, shitting myself because I was like, this film's fucking horrible. But yeah, he just continues to peel his skin off. At what point
he's like, oh, that didn't work, I'll try again.
Yeah, I'll just keep going. And then he reveals his like teeth and shit, doesn't he? It reminded me a bit of Cube when the guy just peels his own face off and doesn't stop.
Yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so Vincent appears behind Dalton and he takes a big swipe with this blade, but he misses and he hits Wade and he takes a piece of Wade's jaw off. And I was like, "Fucking hell, this is getting worse and worse for him."
Because he is still alive, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because he moves.
He's feeling all of this. I think he's alive till the end of the film. So at the end of the film, when the House of Wax burns down, there is one shot of Wade from the back, still sat at the piano, and I think she sort of looks back and she's like, "Oh fuck, I can't save him, so fucking
fucking leave him here."
What a horrendous way to go. Fucking hell. Yeah, so Vincent chases Dalton, and Dalton falls down the stairs into the basement, into Vincent's lair, and he gets a double garden shears to the throat, beheading him instantly, which...
I thought it was quite a good shot.
It didn't look... Yeah, and then they sort of kind of... I won't say they ruin it, because just Dalton's head rolls to the side and he blinks a couple of times to show that he's sort of still alive, I think.
It's like that headless chicken
it just
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it just looks really fake.
It was
mad.
It just looks dumb. But I did like the fact so you saw the shears go down onto him, and then he pulls the rest of the body away. I thought that was quite a nice little touch.
I thought that was really clever. Yeah, that was really good. If they'd have just left it at that, I think it would have been effective enough.
Yeah, we didn't need the head thing at all. But talking about See No Evil, when the phone should have rang through her throat. I mean, that's like it's almost like the cherry on top. Maybe that's what they were thinking.
You're right,
I don't know. I would have preferred not to have seen that, but maybe that's what they were thinking.
Yeah. I guess I get what you mean. Yeah, because we were complaining about the lack of comedy in See No Evil.
Yeah.
They've given us a bit of comedy in this, and we're complaining that it's too much.
Exactly.
When will we ever be happy, Paul?
We fucking won't laugh. Unless
we won't, will we? We just complain about everything on this show.
Yeah.
So back at the gas station, Beau has captured Carly, and he glues her lips together and ties her to a torture chair thing. Nick turns up asking questions, and he is instantly very standoffish with Beau. And he's instantly like, "My friends were here. Are you sure you didn't see them? They would have been here. You would have seen them. Like, what the fuck, dude? What's going on?" And I was like, "Fucking deck him, Beau. He's been a prick." But I think it's meant to show that like he's got instinct, he knows.
Yeah,
when someone's a wrong, and
he's a bad boy, so he's the tough guy of the film.
Yeah,
he is the
game recognized game.
Yeah,
so Beau seems to convince Nick to walk away, and as he's doing it, Carly is broken free from the chair, and she's beneath them in like the basement, and she reaches her fingers through the grid to sort of like wiggle her finger to attract Nick's attention. Because she can't scream because her lips have been glued together. Beau notices it and he kneels down, pretends to tie his lace, and he gets a pair of pliers out and he snips the tip of her finger off. And I did wince when I was like, "Oh my god, that's gross."
Yeah, and he looked very, very fucking pleased with himself as well.
Yeah, he was like so happy. He was like, "Stupid bitch,"
and then he just like slips it into his pocket for later on.
Nice. So just as Nick is about to leave, Carly just rips open the super glue on her lips and she shouts for Nick, letting her know. She's like, "Nick," and Nick instantly realizes, fuck, this guy's got her. So he quickly manages to get inside the gas station, lock Beau out, and free his sister. We'll come back to them in a bit, so we better just go back to the camp and see what Blake and Paige are doing.
Yeah.
They're banging. She's sexy stripping for him. But then, in the middle of all this, she decides to try and tell him that she thinks she's preggo.
Yeah.
And he just does not want to know. He's completely clueless. He's like, oh, baby, I got to turn the music back on.
Yeah.
This song
Now,
is just doing my head in.
Well, since you mentioned the music, I got the lyrics up for this song because I was listening to it and I was like, we're meant to be slightly turned on by this scene, I imagine, because it's a sexy dance, even though it was not sexy whatsoever. No offense, Paris Hilton, if you're listening. But I could not, I was completely distracted by the music because it was, every time they show this character, they put on cheesy, like urban music, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So, would you like to hear some of the lyrics?
Like R&B shit.
Yeah, like the bit when he's rapping in the truck at the beginning. You do want to hear these lyrics, they're great. Okay, so I'll go from here. Sexy, no, hold on. Hold on, I got a bit more.
What, is that word not in it? Sorry.
Oh no, I cut too far ahead. God, there's not many words in this. I put on my white dancing shoes. I know that I'm a handsome dude, but you are more than beautiful. Yeah. So why is it that I deserve a woman flyer than a bird? So automatic is unheard of. The way you move your body, babe. It drives me wild. I love the way you're looking, babe. You're just my style. Sexy and you don't even know it, babe. You gotta know it, babe. I'm gonna stop now because I'm getting flashbacks of watching this film and hearing that fucking song. Yeah, it was so distractingly bad. They should have used like Closer by 9 Inch Nails or something, like an actual sexy song. Focusing way too much on this. I'm sorry.
Blake goes back out to put that song back on. Vincent kills him with a knife to the neck and then climbs into Paris Hilton's tent while she's trying to sleep, and he scares the shit out of her by like being all up in her grill, like with
his Joey Jordison looking mask.
He is Joey Jordison, isn't he? That's who I couldn't place who he was. That's who they're trying to go for, isn't it? He's Joey Jordison, the killer.
Yeah.
So she runs to some kind of gigantic warehouse that is filled with all the belongings of all the victims and all the cars, which is like, and how did they not realise this massive building was there? Like, they're camped like 2 minutes away from it. Yeah. So Paige hides in the car. She arms herself with this big spiky stick, and when Vincent comes in, she takes a stab at him, hits him in the face, and wounds his cheek. Vincent gets the spear from her, and he launches it at her from a distance, impaling it right through the forehead. I think maybe this would be the death in the cinema that people cheered because, as we said, people absolutely fucking hated Paris Hilton back in the day.
They did. So this apparently was advertised as "come and see Paris Hilton die." Basically, they used that as a.
I can see. Yeah, I can. Yeah.
They actually use that as an advertising type of scheme, little old scheme.
The fuck's wrong with people?
I know.
Between this film and that fucking Lindsay Lohan film he covered, there's a lot of hate for women in the world.
Yeah. Unreasonable, isn't it? Do you know what it made me think as well? So I reckon anybody under the age of like 30 probably really doesn't know who Paris Hilton is anymore. Because like this was like 20 years ago now, isn't it? So...
yeah, exactly 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, so I'd be interested to know what people would have thought of her in this film, watching it without knowing who she is and how famous she actually was back in the day, and whether they would judge her the same way people probably judged her back then. I mean, no, it's only a thought.
I bet they don't care. I bet they just think, oh, well, this is a perfectly cromulent performance, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, cromulent.
Back in town, Nick breaks into the army surplus place to steal a crossbow, and the two are chased into the cinema by Bo, wielding a shotgun. Whatever Happens to Baby Jane is playing, like I mentioned earlier. So Carly hides in the wax audience. There's a lot of like stalking around and just boring scenes to create tension in this. This is some of the stuff I would have cut if it was up to me. This film's nearly 2 hours long.
I know. Do you know what? I was fucking devoed last night when I went to put it on, and it was like 11 o'clock, maybe a bit past 11, and I was like, right, quick watch of this film, get to sleep, wake up, do the pod, and I was like, fuck me, this film's nearly 2 hours long.
Oh, I know. You could have combined like that church scene, the cinema scene, and a lot of these, like when they run back to the house.
Oh, that bit, that took so fucking long. I was so bored.
Fucking goes on forever.
Yeah, I was like, oh, come on, fucking hell.
I'm going to try and speed through this because I don't want to have to relive it. Bo chases him out of the cinema, and when he comes out of the doors of the cinema, Nick is waiting there with a crossbow, and he fires a bolt through Bo's heart, point blank, which puts him out of action. Seemingly kills him, but obviously he's not dead because it's a horror film. Yeah. Nick and Carly go back up to the house to look for Wade and Dalton, and they discover newspaper clippings explaining that Bo and Vincent were conjoined twins who were separated in a controversial procedure.
Yeah.
Bo and Vincent arrive back at the house separately, and the relationship is revealed that Bo is the bullying alpha twin that we saw at the start.
Yeah.
And Vincent kind of goes along with what he says. So I don't know, who cares? They're both murderers. What else do you want?
I hate that fucking trope, that easy exposition. I suppose it's not exposition, is it? It could be, like visual exposition, let's say. Of we saw it in See No Evil, didn't we? Where it shows us somebody's backstory with conveniently placed newspapers that they just happen to keep, and it shows exactly that they were.
It was one of the reasons you didn't like Halloween H20 so much, was it? Because that's the scene is all the newspaper. It's just newspapers and exposition.
Yeah, God, it's fucking. Ugh. But I noticed that they called them Siamese twins, and I thought that's not very nice. But then I thought it's a little
conjoined twins.
Conjoined twins is the correct word, but it's I suppose it's a little hillbilly town that's what the phrase they're going to use, isn't it? The colloquialism.
Yeah, and if they were sort of born in the 60s or the the 70s, I imagine the word Siamese twins was the word to use back then. I'm sure it's not okay to use that word now. No. Yeah, so Nick and Carly, there's a lot of hiding in the fucking under the snooker table or the pool table, and
this is the part that they should have fucking cut out and sped up. There was no need. The film was on a roll at this point. There was a lot of shit happening, and God,
really brings the fucking whole thing down to a slow crawl. So they hide in the basement and they start fucking around with the circuit breakers, which activate the lights in the town.
Oh my God!
They're just let's just do this.
They fucking did it about 100 times. They only wanted one light on, and they were flicking every switch, and it was like, what the fuck are they doing? Just look for a light switch, not an obvious fucking I don't know, main fuse that they're just gonna turn off the garage a mile away. You know what I mean? It's fucking.
It looks like the whole town looks like a fucking. There's an episode of Scooby Doo where they're like a haunted fun park, and it's just going crazy. I was like, fucking hell.
and then Bo gets that cheeky smile on his face, that lovely cheeky smile again, because he knows where they are. Because he's
he's a very good actor. He plays both roles in this. He plays Vincent.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now I was certain that I knew him from. I mean, I do know him from something, but I was certain he was this other actor, which I can't even remember that other actor's name, so I'm not going to get into that.
Okay.
So I looked him up. He is in series 1 of Sons of Anarchy. He's like an exiled member of the club.
Oh, is he the one who has the tattoo on his back, and he was supposed to have removed it? Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, they blowtorch his tattoos off. It's him.
He has a fight with Opie, doesn't he? In the gym.
That's it, yeah. He's he was Opie. I think he left Opie to go to prison.
Oh, yeah, he's the one who, he fucked over Opie, yeah. I didn't realise.
Because he hasn't had his ink removed, they fuck him up, don't
they? Do you know what? This guy reminded me a lot of Bill Paxton. I don't know whether it's the look.
Yeah.
But he had a Bill Paxton kind of feeling going on. And I thought, he was... Yeah.
He's quite good. He's quite good in this. He's quite menacing, I think.
He's got that southern charm when he is the simple mechanic guy, and he's he's got the suit and he's got his slick back hair. And, he's quite a cool character, and obviously. And
I wouldn't have guessed unless I was looking it up that him and Vincent are played by the same person. So he does a very good job with what he's given.
Yes.
Right, so let's get into the finale. So Nick and Carly hide in the basement and start flicking the bean. The lights on and off. They discover the body of Dalton, who has had his head sewn back on and is in the process of being waxed up. When Vincent attacks him, and Nick tips a cauldron of boiling wax to keep Vincent from chasing them. Mm-hmm. But this causes a massive fire to break out. They try to escape through the main hallway of the House of Wax, but they're confronted by Bo. Bo and Nick get into a fight. Bo stabs Nick in the leg, but he is swiftly fucking beaten to death, very violently, by Carly with a baseball bat. And fucking brutal. I thought, that can't be killing, but she goes fucking ham on him. She's like, don't face shots and everything. I thought, fucking hell, is this the end of him? And it is. He's dead.
Yeah,
She fucking beats him to death.
Better late than never, though. Like, because earlier on, once they thought they had killed him, they should have done that then, really. The psycho who's been stalking him for like 24 hours. Yeah. But yeah, better late than never.
The fire in the wax workshop starts burning out of control, and the wax building starts melting, and it causes Bo's body to sink into the floor. And I thought that looks fucking great because the floor's just it looks I
think that was about the right time for me to mention that. The whole part of this with the building melting was so satisfying for me.
Yeah, I know.
I just wanted to touch it myself, just like that floppy, waxy.
I know.
It looked great. I just wanted to bend things and don't know whether it's like a sensory thing.
Just scoop up a bit of the floor and throw it at each other.
Yeah, it would have been sick. I loved it.
Yeah,
do you?
It looks really good.
Do you know what they used to create this wax effect?
No, go on.
Peanut butter.
Ah, right, okay, I can see. Yeah, I can see it.
Can imagine the smell of that place.
It looks. I've got to say, this fucking set piece of this burning gigantic wax museum looks fucking amazing.
It does. It looks really good, to be fair.
Yeah. Vincent arrives. He chases Carly upstairs to a melting wax bedroom for some reason. And Nick's like, Vincent, I swear to God, man, you touch her. I swear to God. I swear to God. I swear to God. I was like, what are you gonna do? Like, just do it. Stop threatening him.
Yeah, he's not gonna be like too scared to continue.
Carly tries to sort of like reach Vincent and say, like, I know that you're the good one. I know that he's the evil one. I thought, how the fuck do you even know that? I mean, I know she heard him talking, and she's seen like she heard the restraint chairs.
She must have heard him call him a fucking freak at some point.
Yeah. She tries to like, get him to turn face, but he's like not having it. Nick runs in, has a fight with Vincent, with Vincent sort of bringing the knife down on his face. I thought it was actually quite intense. Yeah. Vincent gets unmasked, and all things considered, he looks pretty shit. So I think when his mask comes off, I think the effects just don't look great. Because he's got his half of his face is scarred from where his head was attached to the back of his brother's head, and he's missing an eye. Didn't think it looked very good.
I thought it looked alright. I didn't care that much, to be honest. I was a bit checked out at this point. I
was more concerned with like how good the melting wax house was. Get back to the house. Show me the house melt. Yeah, really satisfying.
Yeah, make people touch it and play with it and stuff. That's what I want to see. But you know what I bloody mean.
I was exactly the same.
But I was waiting to bring this up. So when you said earlier, like in the first opening scene, his mum is fucking around melting wax into like a face, a face template.
Yeah, like a mold.
Yeah. Now that we've revealed that Vincent actually has like no eye and half a face or whatever, I think she might have been making his mask. So when it shows pictures of them as a kid, he has clearly got one side of his face, or maybe all of his face, like waxed up because he looks kind of waxy. So I think that's what she was doing in that scene until Bo, the little shit, comes in and knocks it off and breaks the mold. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I think anyway. Sense, it doesn't matter either way, but that.
At least they have like attention to detail over a lot of things like that in this film. Whereas like in See No Evil, they just wouldn't have cared, which they didn't. As we've discussed.
Yes.
Got to stop talking about that film.
I know. Traumatized us.
I know. Oh, God, we're gonna have to do See No Evil 2 at some point. Carly pulls Bo's knife out of Nick's leg and stabs Vincent with it, and then all three of them sort of plunge through the collapsing wax floor, which kills Vincent when he lands. Does he land on top of Bo in the wax fucking museum? The wax workshop? Who cares? But yeah, that's the end of the twins. They're both goners.
Yeah.
And I love this bit. So Nick and Carly run along a collapsing wax stairwell, but come to like a dead end. So they realise that they've got to dig their way out through the melting wax wall. And I fucking love this. I was like, let me help you. Let's do it.
I was just like, ooh, so satisfying. It's like bending that wall. I was like, I know I'm going on about it a bit, but like when they do it, you can see like the perfectly flat line of the bit that they pulled off. And I was just like, oh, so good.
I just watched this end scene just for this bit.
Yeah, same. Yeah. On a loop.
So they emerge through the wax wall and outside the building, while the entire building just collapses and melts behind them. And I fucking loved it. I thought it was great. Looked really cool.
Yeah.
The next morning, Nick and Carly are taken away by ambulance. We get a bit of exposition from the police who are like, yeah, this town was abandoned. You know, it's not even on the map anymore. The only reason we saw it was because of the big fire.
Wait, but I was thinking, like, what it was only 10 years ago when the sugar mill closed down, which made everyone abandon the town, and it's not on the map anymore. Like, have they just like got fucking new maps within the last 10 years? Didn't old maps not exist? I know it was 2005, so we didn't have like, I don't think we had Google Maps back then, did we? But like, it's just completely vanished in 10 years. That's fucking dead.
I think there are a lot of these towns in the US that are like abandoned. A lot of real ghost towns in the US that are abandoned. I don't know if they disappear off the maps or whatever. But
I know. Yeah, but...
to me though, the way it looks to me, I was convinced it wasn't a real town. I thought it was like some sort of theme park town. Yeah, is what it was. You know, it wasn't a real town to begin with.
Well, that probably is because
that's what I always remembered.
Oh, do you think that was part of the story, did you?
I always remembered it being like a theme park town that wasn't even a real town.
Okay.
Like, so that's why it wasn't on the map. But the cop says at the end, it
was a real town, but it got abandoned.
The mill closed.
Speaking of like theme parks that have been abandoned, you know Camelot in the UK is people go there, don't they, and like check out the remains.
We'll have to go there one day.
Ooh, yeah. Do like a live video on it.
Dark Talk live from Camelot.
Yeah, sick.
Oh yeah, we'll have to cover Excalibur.
God. Yeah.
Yeah, so Nick and Carly are taken away by the ambulance the next morning, and we get our pretty fucking lame final twist when the sheriff gets information over the radio that there was actually a third brother who is implied to be the roadkill guy from earlier, and they see him sort of standing at the edge of the town, and he just sort of salutes them and waves them off.
Stroking the dog,
that's the
isn't
end
it?
Of that one. Oh, yeah, he's got Vincent's dog, hasn't he?
Yeah, so that, like, vicious dog is friendly with him because they're in it together. They've all been in it together. He's probably luring people in. Oh, yeah, he's literally driving them up to the town, isn't he? Yeah. But, that's House of Wax. Yeah. 2005. Yeah, so what did you think? Right, so I won't be too hard on it because for what it was exactly what you'd expect. Good little fun horror film, you know, like definitely stuck in its time with the music. I don't think they were trying to make a really good film. I think they were just trying to make a fun film. So I can't be harsh on it. It was full of tropes. The NPC characters that were just trying to get to a football game and sports match, as you said earlier on, or something like that. Sports ball. Yeah. And their dialogue was shockingly bad. You had all the stereotypical characters. The music, I think, placing contemporary music in from that time period keeps it stuck in that fucking time period. Yeah, absolutely. The score was pretty much non-existent. Like I think music is so fucking important in films, like scores especially, like scores written for that film to make it stand out. And you know, like think of the film Under the Skin, right? That film is elevated so much by its score, and to make a creepy film about wax figures that are made out of real people, you just need an important, really good sounding score. But again, anything that I say it doesn't really matter because the film is what it is. So I'll shut the fuck up because I'm going on. But better than I remembered. There are a couple of good deaths in it. The Paris Hilton death was probably the best. The javelin through the rusty javelin through the head. I will not watch this film ever again. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to everyone in it. It was 20 years ago. You know, like again, I don't want to take the piss out of people's art. You know, I think the actors were perfectly capable and they did the best they could with what they had. Yeah. Direction wasn't terrible. It didn't make me feel sick like I Know Who Killed Me. We didn't have an absurd amount of blue in it. I'm gonna shut up. It was okay. It was a 5 out of 10 for what it is. A 1 out of 10. I think it's for me and you. It's for me and you. It's probably it's a pacing issue. I think there's a lot of fluff in this film that just you could have trimmed out like 2 hours for this film. Come on. Yeah. Like, you know, the first like half an hour didn't really establish what you would hope for, where you're supposed to be following these characters and care about their deaths. I don't think it needed it. For the type of film it is, it didn't need that character shit at the beginning. I can't hate on it too much, though. I'd say for me it's just like cut out. There's a lot of fluff to cut out, and that's that. I like the way it was acted, I like the way it looked, and I like that big set piece at the end. I like some of the kills. I definitely don't like it as much as I did when I was younger. Oh, really? But what I was thinking about is 1 year later we got See No Evil. Right, which is a very similar film, but so different. Like this is
again, I always say this is like The Godfather compared to See No Evil, because that was just a no effort, nothing.
Yeah,
there was effort put into this. There was effort put into this.
Yeah, definitely.
I do like it, but it was just fucking well too long.
It was, yeah. The film cost $40 million to make. Like, you could make $41 million films that would be 1 million times better than this.
Yeah,
with the budget that they had for this, and I prefer that. So.
Quick on the director. Do you know any of his other work?
I do, actually, but I can't think of what it was.
He is the director of Jungle Cruise, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, which I haven't seen, and I never will.
I'm never watching that.
He is. he's the director of Black Adam.
Oh yeah, that's what.
Also starring
maybe is he
Dwayne "The Rock"
Is he
Johnson.
friends with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson by any chance?
I must be. Do you know what his upcoming project is?
No.
He's set to direct a remake or reboot of the Cliffhanger film.
Oh, why? Who cares? That film.
I know, yeah. Why would you remake that? Why would you remake The Perfect Film?
The Perfect Film. Yeah. Didn't he do The Shallows or something as well? Is it The Shallows or shit like that? I don't know.
Is that Liam Neeson film?
No, it was Friend of the Town.
Oh, yes.
What's her name?
Oh, Blake Lively.
Blake Lively. Friend of the Town, Blake Lively.
Friend of the Town.
Yeah, she's Ryan Reynolds' missus, isn't she? So she's like always in town.
She's drank in a few of the pubs that I frequent.
Yeah.
Well, probably not, actually.
top spoons. Here's a pint and a full English for £3, la.
The horse and jockey. Blake Lively in the fucking Nag's Head.
Staying in for a lock-in at the Royal Welsh. Yeah, so I got some trivia ready for you. I think this kind of film that'll have some decent trivia. I've read through it a little bit. Director, not going to try and pronounce his name, insisted that practical effects be used as much as possible for the film. Visual effects were used when necessarily, but sparingly. And do you know what? I could tell. I think they literally built the entire town, which is the next bit of trivia. So the town of Ambrose was constructed in 10 weeks and was modelled after a real town in Eritrea called Asmara. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those words correctly. Asmara was built by the Italians in Africa during World War II in the modern style rather than the Deco style, which was more popular at the time. So yeah, it was a.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the whole town was constructed for the film. Which is what I thought I was going to mention earlier when you said about you thought the town was like an old amusement park. I thought you meant in real life it was like an old amusement that they just used for the film. And then I was going to say, well, actually, it might look like that because they built it for this.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's why it gave off that vibe, I'd say, conveniently placed shops and garages and shit like that. So in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, that's really cool though. They modelled it after this town built in Eritrea.
Yeah. Jared Padalecki is 1 foot taller than co-star Alicia Cuthbert. To make herself appear taller in scenes where she and Padalecki would be filmed together, Cuthbert taped 2-inch blocks of wood to the bottom of her boots. This was only during scenes where they would be shot from the knee up. That's a bit fucking stupid because there's like maybe 2-3 scenes where they're walking side by side and it shows their whole bodies and you can see that she is way smaller than him because he's a pretty tall dude as well, isn't he? They were like, oh, Alicia, what are you going to do to get yourself a bit taller? And she's like, I'm just going to use this bit of wood that I found.
Clock, as she's walking down
Fucking hell. Despite getting poor reviews and doing decently at the box office, the film gained a cult classic following in the years since its release. I don't believe that for fucking 2 seconds. Who do you reckon's edited that into IMDb?
Paris Hilton.
It's like, let's fucking do this. Helpful, 128. Not helpful, 4. 4 downvotes.
I can sort of see why this might get a cult following because a lot of the films that get cult followings are films that were panned, basically, people go back and they look at them like what we're doing, and they try and find the positives in it. So I can see that.
All right, you are right there. But I don't hear anyone talking about this film, so I'd have to disagree. Names mentioned in the script but not in the film are Roadkill Collector Lester. I prefer the name Roadkill Collector, actually. And Carly and Nick's last name Jones. Chad Michael Murray, which is also a very funny name, in a radio interview was shocked to hear his character finally had a last name and said it was an ongoing debate on set. Wow, what an interesting set that must have been, where people are like, well, what is the name? What do you reckon it is?
Fucking wild.
I reckon it's Jones. Oh, I reckon it's Smith. We need to figure this shit out. Jared.
Like, the two most fucking boring British names ever.
Jared Padalecki and Paris Hilton later appear in an episode of Supernatural. Together, also centered around a wax museum. There's even a reference to this movie in the episode.
Oh yeah, there is. I remember because she turns up in an episode of Supernatural. She's playing like a shapeshifter. Yeah, and yeah, there is a bit where somebody, I think they mentioned the film House of Wax, and like Dean Winchester was like, "Oh, I've never seen it. It sounds crap," and then it cuts to Jared Padalecki's face, and he's just like eyeballing it.
I've never watched Supernatural, so I wouldn't know. I remember you blagging me to watch it, but I've never bothered.
Yeah, I mean, it went on for far too long. Yeah, but,
I'd probably give it a go, but there's so much I need to be watching at the moment. I need to carry on with Dark. I can't believe I've never finished Dark. Anyway, aside from the title and the setting of the Wax Museum, this film has no connection to the original film House of Wax in terms of plot. Yeah, we've already mentioned that. Let's move on. Yeah. Brian Van Holt plays the role of both Bo and Vincent Sinclair, undergoing an extensive hair and makeup transformation for the latter. Though the film takes place in Louisiana, USA, the film was actually shot in Australia. Right? Fucking hell, didn't know that.
Fuck off, was it?
Yeah. maybe that's why they got that guy who played Lecter, the Roadkill Collector.
Damon.
Lecter the Collector. In an interview, Paris Hilton was asked if the scene where Dalton, who's portraying John Abrahams, was filming her character, Paige, against her will was a nod to her sex tape. Paris Hilton responded that the scene was already in the script. Well, yeah, that's probably why they got her to do it. Paris Hilton was the first to sign on, and then the character was built around her. Character was built? Fuck off. Nobody built any character for that character. That was...
I was going to say, like, what character built around her?
Speaking of it, though, I remembered her being in this film more. But she really wasn't in it that much, was she?
No.
Right. I'll give you a couple more because these are slightly boring. Despite the abysmal 12 million opening weekend on a 40 million budget, the film was moderately successful in terms of ultimately earning 32 million domestically. I wouldn't say that's success. Anyway, the film made 70 million worldwide, which still wasn't enough to recoup the entire budget and including marketing costs, resulting in the film being a financial disappointment. The film eventually made its money back on home video sales and rentals.
Yeah, so I think a film's got to make at least double its budget back to be considered somewhat of a success.
Yeah.
To be worthwhile.
Well, I think it's going to make a bit more money after people listen to this episode of the podcast, because people are going to be like, that film sounds amazing, let's fucking watch it. Let's buy it on Amazon.
We want some royalties.
Yeah, let's rent it. We want royalties, motherfuckers. As a result of the on-set fire that destroyed the soundstage in January 2006, Village Theme Park Management and Warner Brothers Movie World Australia sued special effects expert David Fletcher and Wax Productions for $7 million for negligence over the fire. They settled out of court. 20 people found this helpful, and nobody didn't find it helpful. Nobody did not find it helpful. I don't know if that's grammatically correct.
There you go. That's thank you, Paul.
Whoa. I'm going to give you one more. The first end credit song and one of the songs on the film soundtrack, Helena, which is by the rock band My Chemical Romance, was released about 2 months before the film's release and was already a huge hit. The song went on to become the definitive song for My Chemical Romance. Not bad.
It's not Welcome to the Black Parade, so I don't care.
Nah, that song is a banger. I remember that coming out, and I remember hearing it on Kerrang and stuff, and I remember thinking, it's not a bad fucking song, that's quite catchy. And I, with my whole persona at the time, being like a thrash metal guy, I wasn't allowed to say that I liked it, but
yeah, you really, really didn't like emo, did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't like emo, no. But that song kind of kicked ass. So yeah, when it kicked in at the end, I was like, that's quite a good credit song. Not as good as Minerva by Deftones, but Or Spitfire by Proj.
Yeah, gotta get that in. Yeah, Minerva.
Yeah. People have got to like me because of what I listen to. Please. So yeah, that was Paul's shit trivia of the week, baby.
Thank you for that trivia, Paul. I think that pretty much takes us to the end of the episode. There's not much more else we can say on House of Wax 2005.
No.
Will you ever watch this film again?
Probably not, no.
Nah, me neither. No. I think I'm done with this one now.
Yeah. Yeah. Good send-off, let's say.
Right. Thank you for listening to Dark Talk. We shall see you again soon. Goodbye and good night.
Goodbye.